डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन युनिव्हर्सिटी.
Welcome to this video lecture session of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. The course is third year BA ENGM 308. We are going to discuss part 2 of unit number 9 of the course ENGM 308, the study of essays. Let's start our work. You can see the topic over here, third year BA, the study of essay, ENGM 308, unit 9, and here we are going to discuss part 2 of Science and Culture by Thomas H. Huxley. Thomas H. Huxley is the essayist who we had already discussed about the author, his period of time, his life scan, as well as the career related information which were discussed in session 1 of unit number 9. Now onwards we are going to focus only on the part of science and culture related information that he had discussed in his speech, and that is taken over here as an essay to be studied. Here is the photograph of Thomas H. Huxley which we discussed previously. The speech part is very much important because we are going to study the whole essay with the speech form only, because he had delivered the speech in the university, and from there, University of Birmingham, and from there we had taken this excerpt to be discussed as an essay, Science and Culture, and it presents scientific education in the 19th century in England. We had already discussed the core part of the science and culture related speech also, where we had seen that how his ideas were reflected regarding the physical science and culture in the previous session. But now onwards we want to complete the whole core part with a view to certain examples, and then we are going to be in a condition to finish the whole unit number 9. Thomas H. Huxley argues that scientific education is an absolutely essential condition of industrial progress. Look, he puts emphasis on scientific education, but he had given certain ideas also that scientific education could be cultivated with a view to certain implementation of physical science. One should understand and one must be given the knowledge and education regarding the physical science. There is up to now there is a concept in 19th century that applied science is very much important, pure science is very much important, but Thomas H. Huxley wanted to put emphasis that neither applied science nor pure science, but the whole science, physical science, should be taken in the syllabus of the students, in the course to the students, in the society, and then it will be very much useful for the purpose of study. Huxley argues that scientific education is an absolutely essential condition of industrial progress. Look, the country's growth, the country's universal growth depends on industrial progress also, and industrial progress is dependent on scientific education. Whatever the things he had delivered, that was already discussed in his speech. His speech contains future implication, philosophical meanings, human development, confidence, clarity, correctness, and many more things. All these things are in his speech, and absolutely they are found in his essay on science and culture even. He means to say that not only science, but we must teach the new generation the sociology, and one must adopt scientific methods to understand the social phenomena. Look, he wanted the development of science in a universal form. Science should be taught deliberately to the students of sociology, to the students of literature, to the students of humanities, to the students of almost all the other interdisciplines, where science could become one kind of instrument to be used and to be studied for the other courses, for the purpose of learning other courses even. That was he wishes to have over here. He referred to Matthew Arnold's popular essay on what is culture. Look, when he is going to discuss everything about science and culture, his mind is very clear, yet he had found certain influences of the previous essayists also. He is very much influenced by Matthew Arnold, who had been talking about culture and anarchy in his great essays. You might be very much known about Matthew Arnold's work, the Culture and Anarchy, which is very popular in the field of literature as well as in the Victorian era. Arnold believed that the criticism of life is the essence of culture and literature. It has sufficient material to formulate such criticism, and that particular idea is taken by Thomas Huxley also. He said that the perfect culture should apply a complete theory of life based upon clear knowledge alike of its possibilities and limitations. So Thomas H. Huxley wanted to say that over here, that merely the culture could be very much important, as well as there is an importance of clear knowledge, as well as the possibilities and limitations of clear knowledge are already in accordance with the perfect culture. Both the things are very much important. He means to say physical science and culture even. He said that despite having gained sufficient knowledge of humanism, one should have these things in his mind which were reflected. He strongly believed that no nation or individual would ever really advance if they don't get sufficient knowledge of physical science. So he believed that physical science is an inevitable thing, and one must cultivate physical science in his studies, in his or her studies. It was before 500 to 600 years ago that the knowledge of physical science was completely ignored, and only theological and literary training was given to people. So previously it happened that people were, as I have told you earlier, people were very much focusing, they were very much fond of learning applied science, and they were very much fond of learning pure science. But here Huxley wanted to put emphasis on physical science also, and that's why he had taken the example of past period of time also. He criticized the middle age philosophers, look, by saying that they all justified theological beliefs and conclusions. In most of his studies of previous history, he found that the physical science is deliberately kept aside. It was not taken on focus, and people were focusing on pure science and applied science, and they were not even focusing on culture even. These two things he marked, and that's why he had taken the ideas and he had delivered the ideas that middle-aged philosophers were. He was not justified with their theories. Their main business was to logically prove how the church said was true, and they mean that theological education is very significant. Here again he argued and he commented about the previous middle-aged philosophers who were very much impressed and who were very much immune by the church and by the ideas of religious atrocity. You know that there was a Puritan era also in English literature where people were completely following religious beliefs, and science was not at all in their focus. Even we know that in the Victorian era, in the famous Victorian literature, people were trying to focus on science, but they were constantly thinking and worried, and even they were trying to find the ideas, and they were trying to get the information whether the church says is true or not, whether the religious concepts are true or not. In that way, the people of Victorian era were trying to compare the religion, philosophy and science, even that we had already, you might have already read in Victorian literature. And here again, Thomas Huxley wanted to say the same thing, that science, physical science, should be learnt freely without any kinds of notions on it. He believed that nature had been cursed for man's sake, and it was an obvious conclusion that those who meddled with nature were likely to come into pretty close contact with Satan. So if you try to harass the nature never forgets. Wordsworth also says that the nature never forgets and the nature never forgives even. These were the ideas of romantic poet Wordsworth, and even we know that there were many ideologies, strong ideologies regarding nature and the beauty of nature in the Romantic era by many romantic other poets. Here Huxley wanted to say that one should worry about nature even. It's an ecological ideology which he had delivered over here in the essay of Science and Culture. You can find that Science and Culture. Here he talks about eco-culture even, ecology, environmental ideology, that you can quote in your answers. So previously, if some has natural urge for investigation would be considered a wizard, thus there was no free space to use reason and knowledge. It was a previous concept he just wanted to share with us. Quite firmly, he explains that the world of nature is disorderly. That's the chief job of mankind, our duty to learn and order and govern the nature as well as the surroundings, as well as our atmosphere, our natural surrounding in a proper way, in an organized way. We have to govern ourselves accordingly. We have to keep ourselves in order. So it is very firm ideology of Thomas Huxley that he meant, and he's worried about nature also. He's worried about nature, physical science and culture, all the three things over here. He thinks that the pretensions of the modern humanists should be debated if not banned. He has clear ideology and clear concepts about the modern humanists' attitudes. He advised that a person who wants to study medicine should not select the study of classics. So he very firmly is clear also that one should try to focus on one particular discipline in deep, and one's innate mindset, innate psyche should reflect on that particular study also. That's what he believed. He said very clearly that teaching only physical science is not enough. One must be taught good intellectual culture also, and even nature also, because he very keenly had given at least one idea about mankind, about human being, and about the nature and its relation with human being also. He means to say that students should be provided the teachings of best literature, French, German and in English, and finally said that there is a need or desirableness of culture through physical science, and human beings' innate acquired desires are very important. So here he means to say that nature should be learnt, the culture must be cultivated in the study of in the courses and in the syllabus of students, but it should be taken care. One should take care whether they are studying with their desires or not, whether they are studying it interestingly or not, or it becomes boring. One has to take care while studying science, culture, nature, as well as the study of literature even. That's what he means to say over here. And his focus is more on physical science rather than other applied science and pure sciences. So here the unit 9 ends over here, and we are in a verge of finishing the whole paper of ENGM 308. Now we are going to study unit 10 in the next session. Up till then, goodbye all. God bless you.
स्वाध्यायः परः